My father refused to walk me down the aisle because my sister decided to throw a party on the same day as my wedding. That was the moment I finally understood. I was never the priority. It wasn't about a misunderstanding or lingering resentment. It was the culmination of a lifetime of being treated like the disposable child. Since I was a kid, I knew I was the accident, the child who came just 10 months after their planned golden daughter, Vicky. While she was celebrated and cherished, I was raised in the shadows, left with my grandparents while my parents traveled with her, praised her, and showcased every little accomplishment. But over time, the difference wasn't just absence. It became competition. It became isolation. Vicky made sure I knew she was the real daughter of the house. When I made friends, she tried to insert herself into the group. When a boy showed interest in me, she told my parents I had stolen him, even though I had turned him down. And when her lies escalated to accusations of me doing drugs and drinking, it all ended with her punching me in the face. Blood gushed from my nose as I hit the floor, and my parents begged me not to press charges. After that, I moved in with my grandparents, the only people who had ever made me feel like I belonged. They helped me finish school, get into college with a full scholarship, and gave me unconditional love. My parents? They never called, never visited. They vanished completely, until I posted about my engagement on Instagram. Suddenly, they were calling, congratulating me like nothing had happened, after years of silence. And then my father asked, as if we were close, "Do you want me to walk you down the aisle?" I paused. Part of me wanted to say yes. Part of me longed to pretend we were a normal family, that everything could be healed with one symbolic gesture. But the truth, the part of me they'd ignored for decades, knew better. I told him I hadn't decided yet if they'd even be invited. He was offended. Weeks later, they called again. This time, to say they wouldn't be attending the wedding at all. Not because I had excluded them, but because Vicky was hosting a housewarming party on the same day, and they decided to go to that instead. They chose her. Again. I kept my voice calm. I thanked them for letting me know and hung up. But the pain, it hit me like a wave. Rob, my fiancé, held me as I cried. Then he said the most obvious thing in the world. Your grandpa should walk you down the aisle. He's the one who's always been there. So I called my grandpa. I could barely get the words out. I was so emotional, but he didn't hesitate. It would be my honor, he said. And at that moment, I knew everything would be okay. The wedding was perfect. My childhood friends were there, my bridesmaids were glowing, and my grandpa walked me down the aisle while I blinked back tears. Rob looked at me like I was his entire world. And for the first time in a long time, I truly felt like I was. Even without my parents, especially without them, I had everything I needed. But the story didn't end there. About a month later, I got an email from Vicky. It was long, full of apologies and regret. She said she wanted to fix things, admitted she'd been immature and cruel, and said she was happy for me. It felt off. Then I ran into her by chance. I brought up the email. She stared at me blankly. What email? She pulled out her phone and found it, but swore she had never written it. And in that moment, we both realized the truth. It was our parents. They had used her account. They forged the entire message to make me feel guilty and pressure me into forgiving them. I asked her about the housewarming party. She said it never happened, so it was all lies. Again. At this point, I honestly don't know who hurt me more, my sister or my parents. But one thing is clear. I'm done. Done trying to earn love from people who never intended to give it. Done explaining myself. Done chasing closure. These days, I'm building something new. I have Rob, my kind, supportive husband. I have friends who've stood by me for years. And I have my grandparents, the ones who truly raised me. I'm learning that family isn't always blood. Sometimes, it's the people who show up. The ones who stay. The ones who love you for who you are, not what you can give them. Forgiveness? Maybe someday. Forgetfulness? Never. But moving forward? That's already begun.